Welcome back to Ace Attorney. We're still doing episode 5. We're going into trial former. Not sure what that means. I do what it means. There's 2 parts to the trial. So, we're now at February 23rd, 9:34 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Numero Dos. I don't know Spanish. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas. Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. I'm ready to accept my fate. Bit too ready, if you ask me. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? A defense attorney should never believe their client. Well, how would you know? You are a prosecutor, first of all, not a defense attorney. Second of all, there is no second of all. The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Skye, you remind me a lot of Mia. There is one decisive difference between you and her. And that is, you're not a defense attorney. Yeah, see? Exactly. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. I'm sure I'll need it. The first trial without a Fae helping me. No one's going to bail me out this time. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself. Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. Thanks, Emma. Means a lot. Alrighty. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Edgeworth. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in a courtroom since his trial. I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. No, not at all. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. Well, if you feel like confessing something, Emma, just go to church. They have a booth for that. I wonder, if you go to, like, a confessional at a church, and you, like, tell them you committed a murder, do they call the police on you? Can they? Or is the church, like, sworn to secrecy? I don't know. It's a random question. There's a witness to a crime. A professional witness. Oh, why does my finger feel weird? Ow. Just had to crack my knuckle real quick. Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Starr, to the stand. The cough-up queen? Haven't I seen you somewhere? You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Oh-ho, caviar! I've never eaten caviar before. The judge is really wolfing it down. Ah, and for you, I have a Fiesta bowl. Thanks. It sounds like she's not really selling lunches so much as she's just handing them out. Will the witness state her name and profession? Ah, and you, sir. Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honor, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts! That doesn't sound like a good thing. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Name, profession, now. Me? The name is Angel Starr. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running lunch line these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Well, witness, please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating. Hurry it up. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call in the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. Huh? What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Starr was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective. What? Miss Starr was a detective? And Jake Marshall used to be a detective, but now he's just a patrolman. Aha! I know who you are. Cough up.
Cough up Queen Angel Starr, Your Honor. Long time no see.
Very well. You may continue with the description, Miss Starr. Just who is this lady?
If I might have the court's attention over here.
Well,
the parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks.
I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor's spaces, yes?
The crime took place by a car in the back of A block in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness and an arrest was made on the spot.
And who was this valiant witness?
Why, it was me, Your Honor.
Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime?
Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor.
It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright? I can't agree on principle, Your Honor.
It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining?
If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Starr. Wait, are they talking about me? Alrighty then.
Somehow, I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest.
Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend. How touching. As you can see, there is no room for doubt. There is something bothering my eye. That's what there's no doubt about. I think the problem has been solved. As much as it's going to be solved for now, at least. As you can see, there is no room for doubt. Did I already say that? Probably. I probably did. Ooh. Sorry, I am rearranging things as I often have to do. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than... Other than what, Your Honor? The point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman.
So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed?
I'm still thinking about that.
It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright.
Well, very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Oh, I will. Alright, I don't think there's straight-up contradictions yet. Sorry, I'm not really saying much. I'm just thinking. So I guess I'm gonna press. How did you know?
I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime. If their methods are ugly and twisted methods will always lead to tragedy.
The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted.
Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim. Killing off a detective that knew so much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one.
Laid off? She was fired.
To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless.
Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr. This boyfriend. He's the detective?
Not that boyfriend. The security guard.
That boyfriend? You have several?
Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join?
Don't be weird.
The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants.
I'll stick with the lunches, thanks.
Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. The security guard room is in the lot in A block. It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there.
That'd be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunch boxes by car?
Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So she was in B block when she witnessed the crime.
You sensed something? So you're saying you had a premonition of the murder?
It felt like... how would you say? Oh yes, it was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds.
I have no idea what that means. Speaking of a detective's intuition, I don't know what that means either. Wasn't the victim, Mr. Bruce Goodman, also a detective?
Yes, well, he was like a young cheese.
Young cheese? Why do you keep saying things that don't make sense?
A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience on the streets. A greenhorn.
Then I must be hard-yelled and sharp as a tack.
Yeah, with the odor of an old cheese to match. In any case, there in the lot I felt something stirring in the back of my mind.
By garish car, you mean?
Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes.
Mr. Edgeworth's?
Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's. Wasn't it?
Indeed it was. What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you are sure it was the defendant?
I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I am certain it was her.
If she's telling the truth, we're doomed.
Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick.
Witness, in your testimony you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness.
You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie.
Huh? Rookie? I've, had 4 cases, I'll have you know.
Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me.
I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. Are you threatening to kill me? That was inspiring. That was a threat.
I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism? I may be relegated to the lowly position of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed.
A photograph. You took this?
The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap, I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera.
I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now?
You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs.
Well, this is most certainly the defendant. Uh-oh. That is unmistakably Lana Skye. So what was the defendant doing at the time? Tell me more about this knife that the suspect was carrying.
Well, I'd say the blade was about 4 inches long. Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? It is your knife, after all.
Yes, that's about right.
Prosecutors are, by nature, well versed in the location of a man's vital organs. I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set.
Okay. You can't testify as to her ability to kill an egg. I mean, a person.
God. Fucking... I keep getting hair and eyelashes in my eyes.
It's very hard to see.
Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor.
So the defendant was holding a knife. What then? Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. You did see her raise the knife to strike, no? The defense has a point.
Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late.
Too late?
Yes, the next moment, the chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon.
I see.
It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it.
You said that before. Anything else?
Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless.
Sounds pretty fatal to me.
What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty?
Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer.
Don't smile like that.
Okay, well, we pressed on everything. The only thing we got out of it was the photo. So is there anything the photo itself contradicts? I pressed on everything. I've already pressed on literally everything. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Am I just an idiot? Like, am I just dumb? Is there something I'm missing? Okay, I'm looking up a walkthrough. I'm too fucking stupid to do this, apparently. It's gonna seem really obvious once I know the answer. Okay, give me a moment. I'm back. I have a walkthrough. Apparently I'm supposed to present the crime photo on her statement the chief prosecutor is holding a knife in her right hand. I'm not sure why. Whatever. It's fine. They'll explain it. I don't see why that's what. I don't get why that I was supposed to present that there. I genuinely don't. And you witnessed this? You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with the knife?
As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch.
Can you stop fucking presenting lunchboxes? It's actually getting irritating. It sure is a fine lunch. But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took of the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding a knife? I thought the assumption would be she just put it back. My god. Ahem. Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yet it was still stronger than your ever-feeble mind, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing.
Objection!
And how can you tell that? There's fucking blood on the jacket, right? See, I'm not dumb for not knowing I was supposed to present that there. Blood splatter. Huh? See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat? Well, actually, we technically don't know what color it is, because the photo's in fucking black and white for some reason. But it's a black and white photograph. Could be coffee. Yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem, except you. Mr. Wright, are you gonna just sit there and take that kind of abuse? Ugh, you got a better idea? I guess I choose, Okay, there's no achievements here, so I skipped that one. I guess objection. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime.
Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies.
That's it?
If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved.
If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go.
Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Skye was cold, calculating like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder.
Objection!
Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph. Well, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. Warg! It's a strange noise to make, but whatever. These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation.
Premeditated murder. A serious offense.
Witness, add this... That's the wrong voice. Witness, add this to your testimony. Apparently I present the knife here? But this isn't a contradiction. Because it has no fingerprints on it.
Objection!
Witness, do you know what this is?
Are you trying to test me? I sew box lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk.
Indeed, it is my knife. Bloody murder weapon, red car, overwhelming the prosecutor there. Defended by the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Army of prosecutors, can you people shut up? Oh my god, why do we have an audience? Why do we allow an audience? The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony.
What's that, rookie?
In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing, the murder weapon? Okay, that is a good question. Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Well, that's... You're losing your cool a bit quickly. Order, order, order! Great, now the tide is turning in our favor.
Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free.
Well, maybe not yet. Right? I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. Don't get ahead of yourself. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah. The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution need prove. Nothing else.
Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing...
I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again.
Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated.
Really now?
God.
I don't like her.
Lena Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. Again and again?
The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it?
So if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy?
In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. Oh, I already see where there's a problem. I'm gonna press on everything just in case. You've said that, but you haven't told us how you know.
That's what I'm about to tell you, rookie.
I believe what she just said was a mere prelude to the story she's about to tell. Try not to interrupt her again.
Never interrupt a storyteller. It's like pulling a bun out of the oven half-baked.
Something's half-baked here, alright, and it's you. Try not to confuse the defense witness. They're not very quick on their feet. Now, why did you believe the suspect had intentions to murder the victim?
Her actions speak for themselves.
I think I present this here. You say she stabbed him again and again. But you couldn't have witnessed that.
Are you testing me? Then I'll test you.
With my moss surprise. Is that just moss? I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Aha! You're right! Good show, Mr. Edgeworth.
What a hunk! He's my hero, really.
What about my objection? No one noticed? Well, witness?
You got the crime scene set, right? Do you just have these pre-prepared?
Oh, thanks.
I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realize that such mistakes are possible.
So, you're saying you mistook something for blood?
When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice.
Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify. The red muffler looked like blood to me. You mean that, like, the scarf? Ma'am... Ma'am... Come on. You took this photo. I didn't see what he said. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work.
What?
The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself, with this photograph.
Huh? But that can't be!
It can be. Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations, perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Harsh words, but good.
In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails.
What was my objection? Shot the liver?
But it was there, a scarf. No, not that, but something red, really.
Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business.
What?
Very well, witness, continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that.
Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least.
Also, how can you mistake an entire fucking scarf for blood? A ketchup, okay, yeah, maybe. They're both liquid, they're both red, whatever. But a scarf? Huh? Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony.
The most important part?
The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. I do still have the guide open in case I get real stupid again. Apprehending the suspect. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Why would she mention the muffler? The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile. You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. A cobra is a snake. That's me, Angel Star. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. Maybe I'm into that. You never know. Why did I say that? No thanks. Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. Venomous. Venomous snake bites. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. An oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Row. Thanks. Very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you will. So where is this partition on the floor plate? It's literally right... It's in the photo. I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. That's right. There was a wall there, about 6 feet high. She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do. And what did you do then? I quickly conned her, explained her rights to her. You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. There is a fence in the way? You'd have to run all the way to A block. I'd like to see this on the floor plans, just to be safe. The Lunchland car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. Hang on, I need to clean my glasses. I'm a professional. So you witnessed the murder from here? That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes. Is that correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain link fence in front of you. I went over it, of course. Amazing! Cough up queen, lunch lady athlete, indeed. It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence. So she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. How did Miss Sky not get away? She mentioned the muffler? What exactly did she say? If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler. Just that one word? So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else. Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Her phone? She can't mean... By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately. My memory... It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see. That doesn't make any sense. No, the court doesn't see, Miss Starr. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. On the wall? That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently, it was out of order. And so she used her cell phone. Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness. Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying? You should, of course, add this to your testimony. The things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. Am I gonna have to point out that... The telephone's behind the partition. Is that going to become an issue? Yeah, that doesn't track.
Objection!
That doesn't track. Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Sky.
Objection!
The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. That's not relevant right now. Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. All of what? Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the backside of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. Warg! Stop saying warg. What does that even mean? Order, what is the meaning of this? Why do you always say that? I already explained it. It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch, she's coughing up lies. Grr. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question. Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about... what she saw? She lied about what she saw. In other words, she didn't see Miss Sky using that emergency phone. It does seem hard to imagine how she could have. Very illogical. Ow, why is my foot going numb? Ugh, sorry. My foot started to fall asleep. Probably because this chair is just awful. Terrible. What's the matter, Star? Cat got your lunchbox.
Mr. Wright, I hate to bother you while you're celebrating your victory, but why would Miss Starr lie like that?
Huh?
Why would she say that my sister had tried to use the phone but failed? It doesn't make any sense. Why lie about something so insignificant?
Oh. Dang, she's right.
I mean, maybe she really did see her try to use the emergency phone.
I see no room for doubt here.
You ordered the patooey on rice, right?
Mr. Wright, and I thought you had something there. Oh, god damn it. Sorry, I was looking at the guide. I'm just gonna admit it now. I am looking at the guide to figure out what to do, because I'm just stupid, and also I've played this game before anyway, and I don't feel like stumbling through it for 4 hours. But I didn't read far enough ahead. That's to get a achievement or something, which I don't think there are achievements in this version of the game. So that's incorrect. So what I'm actually supposed to say is where she saw it. Fucking... god damn it. That's my bad. This order of events. No, wait. No, that's the wrong one again. God damn it! I'm... where she saw it. Fucking goddamn it. Miss Sky tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Starr to lie about it. Pointless to lie. I see. But say the witness did actually see Miss Sky using the emergency phone. It would mean Miss Starr witnessed the crime from a different location. A different location. Now that's a pointless lie if I have ever heard of it. Before you call my line pointless, at least let me tell it. Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime? The testimony we've heard until now points in one direction. Which from Miss Starr witnessed the crime was here. I think the security room? Because she mentioned before she was bringing a lunch to her boyfriend in the security room. Take that! This is the only place where she could have been. The security guard room. Indeed, the security room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor, so you can see the entire lot. She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen the phone. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime and the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr?
How many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today, a man has got the better of Angel Starr.
Then what's up with the photo? Order, witness! What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better.
I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. And I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails.
The guilty? Is she talking about Miss Sky?
Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd?
Yeah, hang on. First of all, there's a photo which couldn't have been taken from the security booth, and also there's this. Sorry, that's the wrong thing. Press the wrong button. If she was in the security room, she shouldn't have seen the murder at all. Because of well, maybe if it was high enough, she could have looked over it. Because it doesn't go all the way to the ceiling. But definitely the photo shouldn't have been taken.
Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make sense.
Huh?
She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything.
Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. That truth still stands. It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason. So tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright. Huh? Me? Who else?
Mr. Wright, let's review what we know.
Well, she has a grudge against prosecutors, clearly. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. It must make a vital difference. But what? What would change? Angle of view to the crime, I think, right? Distance to the crime? It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime. Right, she did mention that she was able to catch Lana pretty fast because she was like 30 feet away. My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet, but she couldn't have jumped out of the glass. I don't see how that would change what she could see. What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Sky? Well, witness? Yes?
You ordered the squid wheels, right?
It just looks like a bunch of rubber bands. The quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible.
I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend.
Boysenberry for the boyfriend.
He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it.
So she would have had to go all the way around?
That's why I had to go through the visitors parking in B block.
That's quite a detour.
It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime.
5 minutes? This changes things considerably.
But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence.
So, we're assuming she witnessed the beginning from the guard station. Right, at 5:15. She claims she runs over, and also she saw Lana try to use the phone behind the wall. So then she came back to the car so that she didn't take the photo at 5:20? It doesn't add up.
I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork.
A spork is not a good thing to swear on.
You have a point, and the spork is a wonderful invention. No, it isn't. The fork part hardly works. Would you like another caviar lunch?
Absolutely. Someone is coming up the stairs. I'm nervous. And we're back. Sorry, I know there's a bit of a jump right there, but I heard something going on outside the room, and I didn't want to take the risk of the microphone picking up any of the sound, and also I just didn't want anyone to like barge in the room and be like, "What are you doing?" Absolutely. Uh-oh.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something.
What was happening? Do I have any evidence to stop this? Always raise an objection when you have the chance. 5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You could make pasta in that amount of time. If you like it al dente. Al dente? I'm not sure.
I've got lunchboxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie.
Will you stop calling me rookie? I have a name. A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange. If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor? Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey, don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone. That's not the point, Your Honor. But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run, but this time was different. Miss Skye dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. Will people stop shrieking? Well then, it seems you've come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, is the next witness ready to go? Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history.
We did it! We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright.
That was too close. I'm afraid that the cough of Queen has been dethroned, and with that, court is adjourned.
Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right?
That's the one she tried to foist off on me. I'd prefer to not take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say?
I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence.
What was that? Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes? My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Starr.
Ah. Is this your jumbo lunchbox?
Woohoo! A triple-decker. God damn it. Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence.
Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed.
What's she gonna pull out of her lunchbox this time?
Sorry, just checking my phone for a moment. I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence.
What? There was blood found on that shoe?
Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs.
Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence?
Simple. As I've already said, I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself.
And you had blood tests performed?
Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics.
In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence.
What?
You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being. What's the second rule?
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating.
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen.
You could at least study some evidence law, really.
Yeah, that might be a good idea, actually. The prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. What's the second? However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness.
Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged.
Very well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Alright, so I press on everything. Why did you lie about those 5 minutes?
I guess you could say I just wanted people to look at the results.
The results?
How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my very own eyes. Compared to that, a 5-minute blank means nothing.
Then why didn't you just tell the truth?
Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of the vile lot known as prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranged testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence. When you fight monsters, you need to use every trick in the book.
This, when the suspect is admitting she did it? But false testimony is the most despicable crime of all, Miss Starr. Let's just get this over with. And you found this shoe at the scene of the crime?
I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department. I wanted to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive.
So, like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck off with a shoe.
I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. This shoe was my secret weapon if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? Carries more than lunchboxes, gentlemen.
I'm happy for you and your lunchbox bag, really. In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now tell us what you did next. So you brought it to the forensics department.
If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert.
She got away with a little coup because she used to be a detective. The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it.
Well, the man was stabbed after all.
And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman?
As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe.
You can't say for sure the blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test.
You claim to know something about blood tests, rookie? Well, speak up.
Well, blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood. Right. That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright.
Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there. Which means that we can more or less narrow any sample of blood down to just one person. Or so I hear.
That's pretty specific.
If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results. But they said there's very little doubt it could be anyone's but Miss Lana's skies.
So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe. That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that. Can't let this evidence go through without a fight.
You ordered the peppered fish guts, right?
Ugh.
Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some like your client. She's in enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe?
A problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? There is a problem. The shoes in this photo are dark. Even if it's a black and white photograph, white shoes would not look that dark on a photo. There's a problem. If I'm not imagining things, I'd say there is one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction.
That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, rookie.
Yeah, I'm 24. How old are you?
I can give you a peppered fish gut now, but you couldn't take the heat, could you?
How old are you? Just like a quick question. How old are you? You're 31? That's not that old, actually. You're 7 years older than me. Don't be talking about like, oh, you're still young. Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with this evidence. Oh. I wonder if you noticed. There's blood on the bottom of this shoe.
Don't mess with me, rookie. Or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe.
She's threatening me, Your Honor? Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe. Makes sense, the victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of his shoe? Wait, we were assuming this is the victim's shoe? I thought we were assuming this was Lana's shoe. Okay, I was falsely assuming it was Lana's shoe. Sent crime photo. Sorry, it looked kind of like her shoes. I'm just dumb, actually. Take that! The problem lies in the footprint.
The footprint?
Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why weren't any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? Aha! As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about this shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Order, order, order! Wow, witness! Sorry, I had to yawn real quick.
What? Huh? Great going, Mr. Wright, but it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction, but then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint.
Oh, that's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint.
Think, Mr. Wright, think.
Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions.
What?
I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There is one vital hint to the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect.
The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. I'm not saying that last thing.
I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty?
Oh, that, I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory.
Witness, well, was the oil drum empty?
The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water.
Water? What does that mean? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright? You want to know the reason she knocked it over. The real reason. Aha! You don't mean... Yes, the suspect knocked over that oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. Warg. Seriously, stop saying warg. That ties things up quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoes tie her quite clearly to this murder. Then after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs.
Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty. Erasing evidence.
That reminds me. This guy's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she cut herself when she stabbed him?
So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe?
Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial.
Mr. Wright, do something, please!
What? What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it.
But...
Enough. There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor. Very well.
But Angel Star is on the prosecution's side. She could have been lying about the water.
This court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Skye...
Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution's side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hit Evans by erasing the bloody footprints. Well, I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called evidence.
Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else. The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments and you will be held in contempt of court.
Your threats don't scare the cough-up queen. Look at this.
A photograph.
I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim.
I see no room for error in this evidence.
Mr. Wright, wait! Look at the asphalt in this photo.
Hey, it's clearly wet. Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all.
It's not your fault. I know I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. I'm sorry, Mia.
Right, wet or not, don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself up off the asphalt, take another good look. Don't give up, not until the bitter end.
Her ghost is coming back to me. It's the last piece of evidence. Very well, this time I'd like to declare a verdict for good.
Objection!
Your Honor, wait. What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? No. Whatever it is, can it wait? No, it can't. Then it will be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, Wright, are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this. Suppose if we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem in this photograph. Is this...
Take that!
The problem in this photograph is here. What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler. Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor, you just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photograph. A muffler is also a part on a car or a motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system, a pipe. I see, and I see. What's that suspicious-looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler?
So what if there is something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Objection!
Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony.
What?
Did you forget? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth on the muffler is related to this case.
Take that!
Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court.
Ah, yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Muffler.
Yarg. Y'all keep making all kinds of weird noises. Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Okay, calm down. Well, it seems we will have to suspend the proceedings.
Suspend?
I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed? I
I suppose so. Whew, that was close. But we made it. At least for now.
If there's one thing Phoenix Wright is really good at, it's stalling for time.
This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all. He's still hungry?
To be continued. Okay, yeah, that's where I'm gonna end this one. Also gonna stop recording for now, because I've been at it for like 2.5 hours already. Only got 2 videos out of it, but that's fine. So, save your progress. Yes. I'm gonna save right here, and then we'll see you in the next one. Bye. Perry will be going into trial ladder. 2 parts of the trial. When I said this episode's long, I was not joking, so see you next time.